This is a carp, a common carp, one of the most sought after fish in the UK and other parts of Europe. In the United States, the carp is considered a trash fish. It's considered an annoying fish. It is not considered a sport fish. Maybe it's because you can't really eat them. They have pin bones all through their flesh and they have huge thick scales. But then again, some people do eat them all around the world. Maybe it's because they are not the most beautiful fish out there. They have bulgy eyes and weird snouts, but again, beauty is on the eye of the beholder. I was surprised to find out that carp fight exceptionally well. They are extremely strong due to the structure of their bodies and size. So I took a huge, deep dive into learning how to catch this fish. And today, I want to teach you everything I learned. You're watching djmoefishing. Thank you for being here. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get started.
First tip, guys, I want to say the bait. You need to be using a pack bait, guys. That's my favorite bait. It's so easy and you can find it on every single grocery store out there. So I'm gonna show you how I do my pack bait. And I didn't create this recipe. This recipe is really well known. A lot of people that fishes for carp in the US actually uses it. So here we go, take a look at the bait. Alright guys, so we're gonna start making this bait. Please ignore the people cutting the grass on my back over here. So first ingredient you need is panko. This is super cheap panko that I got from Walmart. So we're gonna be using 4 of these for a bait today. Alright guys, next ingredient is sweet corn. You guys can see, bought a 4-pack for like $4. I'm gonna dump the corn in there, and I'm actually using the juices as well. So I'm gonna be using probably 3 cans with this much bait. And I'm gonna keep 1 can for like shamming, just throwing some corn out there. I'll show you about that later. Okay, last ingredient, jello. It's strawberry jello, that's my favorite one. Turns everything red, pink. So this is the big box. Then dump it in there. Like that. Now I'm gonna have to mix this up. There it is, guys. That's perfect amount of bait for today. Really easy, doesn't smell bad. It works great for carp, so definitely I'm gonna be using this, and I'll be showing you how to use this and what rigs we're gonna use. So that's the next thing we're gonna talk about, the rig. All right, the second thing I want to talk about and tips I want to give you is the hook size, guys. You can catch carp on a catfish and circle hook, but if you want to increase your chances, you actually want to be using a carp hook and downsize that hook to a really small size, probably like a number 2 or number 4 carp fishing hook. Now with that said, guys, you also want to be using a head rig. Like I said, I accidentally caught carp before on my catfishing rigs, on the Colorado rig, but for the most part, if you want to be more successful at catching this fish, you need to be using a head rig. So I'm gonna show you the hooks I use and the head rig that I'll be tying on these carp rigs. Also, I'm gonna be showing you the rig itself, so you can go ahead and have an idea what you need to have to catch this fish. All right, now I'm gonna talk about the rig I've been using, guys. So you can see I got a weight here. Now, different from a Colorado rig, this weight it's set. It doesn't slide. It's not moving on the line. All right, I got a swivel right there. There's a clip right there that's holding the weight, and then the swivel. And I got this. This is really important, guys. This is actually the mechanism that's gonna allow you to hold the pack bait. So you're gonna pack the bait on this, and that's gonna allow you to hold it. Now after that, I got a swivel with a carp hook on. You guys can see the hook is really small, and it has a specific bend that will allow the carp to get hooked. So what happened is, if this sits on the bottom just like this, right, the carp is gonna come try to eat the bait, and then when you try to spit it out, the hook is gonna get him the side of the mouth. Now these right here, these are fake corn. Okay, these are actually fake, guys. They're plastic. They look like real corn, but they're fake. So you're gonna have your pack bait on this. When it hits the water, the bait is gonna spread out everywhere, and this is gonna land somewhere around that. When the carp comes, start eating around all the bait, then it's gonna take your fake corn and get hooked. That's the idea behind everything. All right, guys, so let's talk about hook sizes. So before I actually target carp, I was catfishing and I caught a carp accidentally. Now I thought I was gonna be able to catch carp with the same circle hooks I use for catfishing, but it seems to be pretty difficult. I get bites, but I don't get them to get hooked. So I got these hooks online specifically for carp, and you can see the hooks are way smaller than a circle hook will be for a catfish. The good thing is that you can still catch catfish using the smaller hooks, but for the most part, you want to downsize your hooks. See, so all of these different sizes. I got this big size right here. That's probably for bigger carp right there. Right now, I got a number 4 on one of my rods, and I got a number 8 on the other rod. So there's different options you have, but definitely the hook size has to be smaller. Now this is a hair rig. You gotta be using a hair rig. As you guys can see, the base doesn't go actually on the hook, it goes on the hair rig right there. So that's what we got here. But you guys can see I'm missing a couple. I only got one corn here. I want to put multiples of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and reset this hair rig. This is a hair rig stopper right there, so I'm just gonna remove that. I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple more corns there. The way you do that is you need to have a special needle like this to add your fake corn to it. So this is my fake corn right here, and they have different colors of this stuff. They got pink, they have different sizes. We're gonna be adding these too. All right, so put the fake corn, and you wanna go through it with your needle just like that. All right, and then you get your hook, and then you grab that little loop with the end of the needle right there, just like that. And then you just want to push the corn through. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the stopper. These are real plastic pieces they sell for this. Put there, push the corn down, and that should hold it in place just like that. So that's a good setup right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and bait this one up and send it out there. So we're gonna go ahead and get this rod ready, pack some bait on it so you can see what I mean, and toss that out there. So it's our bait right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack some of this bait on this mechanism right here, just like that. I'm gonna pack it really good so it doesn't fall off. Just like that. See, this is what you get. All right, guys, the third tip I want to talk about where to find this fish or how far you want to cast. So sometimes you think you want to cast as far as you can, but sometimes it's not necessary, especially when you fish for carp. You need to figure out where these carp are feeding. Now, carp like to eat the vegetation close to shore, especially on like ponds and lakes. So you want to be looking for bubbles. Sometimes you can see a carp feeding on the bottom by all the bubbles that creates, and you can tell that it's a carp because the bubbles are moving around. They're moving across the surface of the water. So you see there's a stream of bubbles moving across the surface of the water. That is actually a carp eating the vegetation in the bottom of the lake. So sometimes that could be 10 feet away from shore, maybe 15 feet, even up to 20 feet, depending where you're fishing at. So you want to be looking at that. You want to be trying to find where these carp are actually splashing. They like to come out of the water and splash, and you want to target those areas. Now, because you're using a pack bait, that actually is going to attract the carp anyways. So you want to be casting where the vegetation is, and you want to be casting when you see those bubbles, and you don't have to cast as far as you can. Sometimes I've seen carp feeding really close to shore. I'm talking about 2 feet, 3 feet from shore, and I just see them swim by really close to shore, so they can actually feed really close to the shore. So you gotta keep in mind and make sure that you're casting at the right place. Now, when you start casting, you want to keep casting on that exact same spot, because if you're using a pack bait like I am using, you want to keep shumming that area with your pack bait. So if you threw it 10 feet away from you, you want to throw the next cast in the exact same spot to attract the fish to that particular area, and you don't have a big spread shum area. You just want to have a more concentrated area where the carp can feed and find your hook. Fourth tip I want to talk about, guys, is the slack on your line. And so when I'm fishing for catfish, I like to have a slack really tight on my line, really tight, because I want to know when the fish takes the bait and detect the bite. But sometimes when you're fishing for carp, if you have a tight line, the carp might have the chance to run into your line and get spooked. They're really spooky, guys. They get spooked really easy. So what I like to do is I want to keep the slack on my line. I want to keep a big slack on my line so the line actually sinks all the way to the bottom and the carp don't have a chance to swim by it and get spooked. Next tip, guys, is you need to have a nice landing net. Okay, so a regular net will be enough if you don't fish for carp that often. But if you're picky, you can actually get one of those landing pads that have water in it, and you can put your fish there. As you guys know, carp have really soft mouths, so you can't really pull the fish out of the water holding the line or holding the hook. You want to net this fish, because if you don't do that, you might lose them right at the edge, because the hook is going to pull out of their mouth. So you want to be thinking that when the carp gets close to shore, it's going to try to run at least one more time. So you want to have your net ready so you can net this fish and have no problems losing fish or trying to get the fish out of the water and harming the fish. So yeah, get yourself a net. That should be really helpful when carp fishing.
All right, guys. Another thing, don't set the hook on this fish, guys. This is not a bass. You're not using a J hook. You don't have to set the hook. All you have to do is reel it in and ease into the fish. Make sure you have pressure on them, and you should be fine. So the hook is small, and carp have really soft mouths. So once that hook penetrates that mouth, you want to make sure you don't pull it out of it, because you can actually rip their mouth if you set the hook. So don't set the hook, guys. Treat it like if you were catfishing with a circle hook, and you should be fine. You should be able to keep that fish pinned and catch it. Okay, those are my tips and everything I've been learning about catching carp. All these tips that I've been giving you guys, I tested out myself, and they actually work. They have helped me to be able to target this fish and be successful at it, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you learned something on this video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel. If you like the video, hit like, share, comment, let me know what you guys think. And I see you guys in the next video. Peace.